Okay, day three was exciting because we got to see the Black Beast, the McLaren car, do his thing on the track. They didn't do too bad for a team that just jumped in now. I think Norris came third, had the third fastest time. But the real story for me today is Mercedes. They keep on blowing it up, man. Antonelli in the 117s, Russell in the 117s. I think those times are fast. I think Verstappen's 119 in the rain is just as good. But Mercedes is fast. They're getting tons and tons of mileage. George Russell blew it at 310 kilometers per hour at the Silverstone shakedown. They're coming here. They're probably driving within their means. No questions about speed. Absolutely no questions about reliability. And we all know that they probably have the best horsepower and the best internal combustion engine in the game. So they're looking really, really good right now. Now, that being said, we know that Red Bull's not here today, but Red Bull early on with the times that Verstappen did 27 laps and a 119. Hadjar had a 118 the other day. The first day, 118 or 119, I don't know. But Red Bull's looking fast. They're looking reliable. They don't have as much mileage as Mercedes. I don't know who has a higher top speed because if you look at it, like I said, Verstappen did a 119 in the rain yesterday. So just because Mercedes is looking fantastic now, it doesn't mean that they're the fastest car. I guess they probably will have the most straight line speed, to be honest with you. But the scary thing about Mercedes is they're pushing it hard and they're pushing it for a lot of mileage, and their engines have gotten a lot of mileage. But we know that today also, whose engine blew out, Roman?
Audi and Haas.
Okay, Saudi doesn't have a Mercedes engine. Haas has a Ferrari engine. So this is the first crack in Ferrari's armor. They're supposed to be reliable. This is the first crack, so to speak. But today, let's go back. Great run by Antonelli. And I know a lot of people, I think Afolabi said he thinks Antonelli is going to push Russell this year. It's going to be interesting. I don't think either of them have shown their full capability. These cars are going at 80%, and these times are slow compared to what's in the season. But Mercedes is looking really good right now. What are your thoughts, Afolabi?
Yeah, honestly, Mercedes looks scarily good right now out of the gate. Yeah. You know, it's one thing to be fast, but to have Kimi and George locking out the top two spots, you know, it tells you that their new car actually works the way they intended the car to work. You know, while everyone else is trying to see how they tiptoe around and, you know, figure out the new regulations, Mercedes is already dropping, 1 minute and 17-second laps. You know, they've clearly done their homework, really. This was really audacious on the third day.
Yeah.
This was audacious.
But we have to look at it because Norris had 118.7. That's not too far behind.
No, it's not Mercedes. Too far behind.
I'm beginning to think we can't really judge the times right now, but what we can look at is fast times and fastest times and tons of mileage. We'll go to Roman now because Roman, you're saying you have a question as to how good can McLaren be. This is pretty good for them. First time their car has even gotten on the track anywhere to come out with a 118, which is not bad. How many laps did they do total today? McLaren did 62 laps. That's not bad for a first day and a miles. And from what I hear, Roman, I hear that people can already tell, once again, like I've been saying, ride quality and stability. They said from the get-go, you can tell that they're relying on grip and mechanical grip and stability. Once again, that's what they're going to be working on. And this is going to be important once we start getting late into the season where cars start to evolve and things like chicanes and bumps are important. What do you think, Roman?
Yeah, definitely. One where place for McLaren definitely the advantage over Mercedes is the suspension design. Over the chicane corner exit to the Barcelona Catalonia circuit, McLaren was going like full throttle. And I believe everyone else was downshifting, including Russell, but Norris was a person who did not downshift in that area. So it is to be said, the grip advantage over everyone else with this Pirelli tire is great, but this issue comes to bite them in the rain because you can have very good stiff suspension, but when the rain comes, this can become a headache for you. So I think Mercedes and Red Bull Mercedes didn't run yesterday. Red Bull and Ferrari were the only teams to run yesterday. Got very good wet weather data, which McLaren missed out on. I was surprised they didn't do it yesterday because they were in the track. They just a day for getting clear sky.
Can you tell me why Piastri didn't drive today?
He's going to drive tomorrow.
They share duties. Yeah. Well, sometimes some people have two people on the track at the same time, like Russell and what you call it, were on the track together
Antonelli.
today. Yeah, it's just a choice, I guess. Yeah.
It is. But
Piastri's hanging out with his
Mercedes,
girlfriend or his fiance or some crap.
Mercedes clearly has more advantage since they did, combined with Antonelli and Russell, 183 laps. Mind you, on the first day, they did 149 laps. So as the days go, they are really pushing the engine and testing its reliability. Mind you, Ferrari was only able to do 121 laps yesterday. That was with Hamilton and Leclerc together.
And the team, that's good, but you have to remember Racing Bulls already have 200, okay? And they're using the Ford engine. And Red Bull Racing has 185. So when you add Red Bull Racing and Racing Bulls, they have almost 400 kilometers of data, even though they have different chassis. So, but they're going to be right up there with Mercedes on reliability. What do you think, Roman?
Their engine is being stress tested. My main concern is that today that Haas car broke down with the Ferrari engine, and we have been discussing for many videos before that the reason why someone like team like Ferrari would go for steelhead is the reliability. But today that reliability has been tested and it broke down. Mind you, these engines are not running at 100% power. So if you're not running at 100% power and you still had a breakdown as such behavior, because this was not a PCU meltdown, this was an engine meltdown. Yeah. So that was interesting to see. Yeah. It is confirmed now. I think we can really see that Ferrari had to get this reliability. It was not because they were finding performance. They had to get this reliability in. That's why they went for steelheads.
Yeah. Okay, but very quickly, what I'm saying, though, is that when you add Racing Bulls and Red Bull Racing together, they get almost 400 kilometers of testing, even though I know it's two different yeah, but Mercedes still has a lot when they add their customer teams too. So Mercedes is way ahead when it comes to engine testing. And I can tell you, Mercedes is going to jump out of the gate and most likely win this year. But I think after year two of these regs, you'll start to see other teams catch them. The question is, can Russell win the championship? But let's talk about let's go to Kunle first. What are your thoughts, Kunle? Yeah.
Yes, it's an interesting declaration of war from Mercedes coming straight out the bat and taking on, and both cars taking out the McLaren. That's very impressive. Yeah. As usual, we see Haas, bringing up the rear, no pun intended.
like Diddy.
Again. Yeah, that Haas always bringing up the rear. And they're struggling again this season. Right up at the back with the Racing Bulls and the Audis. Audi have their excuse. They're a bit new. They're trying to get adjusted. Hasn't been there for a while. All Alpine has managed to show is how many of the other cars are going to be in between them. Will Ferrari be ahead of the Alpine? Will the Williams be ahead of the Alpine? More importantly, will the Aston Martins and the the other competing cars? That's the second fastest Red Bull be ahead of the Alpines. Because they've done very well to be right up the jacksie of the McLaren, but are they really that close? I mean, there is a gap there. And
here's the thing.
More cars in there.
So Alpine has done only 167 kilometers. But it's clear that the car is fast, it's doing well, it looks reliable, but they haven't been tested. They need another couple of hundred. So we'll give our judgment on them for the final day. I mean, after the final day. But so far, they look good. So let's go back to Roman. So, Roman, what are your thoughts on the question of McLaren? What do you think? Do you think that right now things look good for them?
The main thing is that after doing some analysis on their car, which was in Devon Shakedown, it looks like a very basic car of how it's made. The chassis doesn't seem to be taking full advantage of the engine. The rears are very basic. The front ring is basic. So if you look at on paper what it is, they should not be as close to Mercedes as they should be, but yet they are close to Mercedes already. So what I feel is that McLaren is hiding their trump card. I think they won't reveal it until barring pre-season testing. They will want to wait as much as they can to get aero data. I think that was the purpose of today, is to collect as much as aero data as they can, because I believe they have a theory and they confirmed it today. So they are a sneaky challenge to be waiting. I think with Mercedes is that right now we see them doing well, but this is due to the engine performance.
Yeah, but
historically.
But the question is, if they don't bring the aero out here, how would they have any data that's reliable relative to that? Yeah.
Well, the entire purpose of the shakedown was for the engines because
just for the
everyone
engines,
was
okay.
afraid. We were afraid that 2014 is going to be repeated and engines are going to blow up left, right, and center. But that has not been the case.
Yeah, that's good. So they're not worried about that, and they can do that in Bahrain. And we know that McLaren's patient anyway.
I was going to say about Ferrari. I wanted to make a comment about the Ferrari engine having problem for the reliability issues. My only thing is that for me to really have concern about reliability issues on Ferrari engine, it would actually have to be the two Ferraris having problems with blowouts. I think that since they have...
But they have the same engine, though.
Yes, they have the same engine, but obviously because they are the first people using the engine, they know more about the engine and how it works with the rest of the car better.
Okay, but who ended up blew out? Haas blew out, though. Haas blew out with that engine. So to me, that's going to be a problem.
And they're already slow. Haas's car is already slow and it's blowing out with that engine, which means that the car is not matching the engine. I think that it's more of a problem of the rest of the Haas car.
Well, I don't know about that because my thing is that unless they integration, I don't know much about that, but if this engine is blowing like this is a matter of power. And also, Hamilton was slow as I don't know what yesterday, man. And Leclerc pushed it.
Yeah, the Ferrari's got more. Sorry,
actually, Haas has been pretty fast.
Pace without blowout.
Yeah. Didn't Haas have Haas had a pretty fast time yesterday, right? Roman, what place did their driver come yesterday? No, maybe they didn't. No.
Not really, but they had the most laps out of everyone on day one.
Ocon had a good day on day one. Ocon was okay on day one, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Today, Behrman only did 42 laps, which is a contrast because the issue is what it seems that even Cadillac faced the same issue. The engine is freezing, but the PU is fine. Hence, they were able to manage it properly. My concern for Ferrari is that the freezing should have been factored on in factory itself. It should not have gotten to this. But Ferrari, because yesterday it was colder, right? It was raining. They didn't have to push the engine much. Today, Haas did push that engine, and it suddenly stalled, and it kicked in.
And if you remember at the shakedown, Ferrari making an excuse and talk about we only wanted to do a limited bunch of kilometers, but to have to stop your car in the middle of the track and have it towed off, talk about, we planned that. That means they know that engine is fragile, and they're so scared that they bring the steel alloy, which increases the weight of your engine, and even if their engine meets weight now, they're taking up a lot of weight just for that reliability thing, which is going to affect performance. So to me, this is not good news for Ferrari. What do you think of Falabi? Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you. And if you look at the way the McLaren performed today, I think I was quietly optimistic for McLaren. They didn't want to set the world alight. They were solid. Yeah. And I think I'm suspecting McLaren is sandbagging. I may be wrong, though.
Oh, yeah.
But if you look at the race, and you know, he's setting fastest purple sectors in the final sector 3, which suggests that the car has plenty of downforce and mechanical grip. No, they might likely turn the engine mode down on the main straights, you know, and this explains the time gap to the factory Mercedes team. So I think there's something they're keeping, like Roman said, they're keeping their cards close to their chest. But it was a solid performance. It wasn't fantastic, but it shows that there's more to come, basically, for McLaren.
Yeah, and Mercedes is the opposite. They're like trying to show all their cars. Look what we are. We the best, or we going to find out. But I still think Red Bull's in a sweet spot. Nobody's expecting much of them, and they're doing pretty well. You get my point? So keep an eye. And like I said, if Verstappen's anywhere, if those cars are only 2/10 or whatever left, then he's going to blow it. He's going to come in. I think all this stuff about Mercedes having a half a second per lap advantage over everybody per lap. Let's wait and see. What do you think about that, Roman? Is that really true?
And let's not forget that the McLaren uses the Mercedes engine. So we can already...
that's true. So yes, they don't have that advantage too. But Mercedes will say that they're better integrated. But like I said, let's wait and see. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Alpine. Roman, what do you think? They've been doing pretty well during this testing and stuff, and they could be a team that could be a dark horse and come in the top 6, 7, maybe. What do you think? I know it's too early, but
consider my $50 to be gone. I already consider my $50 on Williams to be gone because after what I've seen with Alpine, don't forget, the original plan for Shakedown was that Williams is going to communicate with Mercedes and both of them going to share data to figure out what's going to happen with the engine, and they both of them going to improve. So that's what happened. Day one, Mercedes and Alpine ran together. Same today as well. Mercedes and Alpine ran together. It was to be in union to run as customer and factory team to get as much data as possible for the engine. Hence, they are blowing everyone away with 561 laps total. And Alpine, surprisingly, has been really reliable, and they are actually one of the few customer teams I have seen which has pushed the engine to 100%, because they were also part of the Silverstone shakedown, and they pushed 300 as well. So, the more and more you look at it, Alpine's also has weight limit. They have the weight limit as well. Don't forget that. The weight is very important.
Yeah. Maybe Toto Wolff is working closer with Alpine than he is with Williams, and he's telling what's his name, Horner, don't worry, Horner, you go come in, we go have some fast cars. I'm just kidding, but you never know. If Horner comes in and brings in investors, that's going to be a bloody team. If Horner comes in, brings in, because I hear he's going to try to bring in a bunch of people to pump tons and tons of money into that team. And we all know Gasly can drive. Gasly's right there with he's second tier to Leclerc and Verstappen. He's not too far behind them. Gasly's a better driver than Russell. It's just that he hasn't had the car. What do you think, Roman? Yeah. Not that Russell. He's a better driver than Norris. He's a better driver. Gasly's a better driver. Don't forget Brazil in the rain. Don't forget Brazil in the rain 2 years ago. Gasly and Ocon. Those guys are very good. They just think about it.
They are underrated.
In 2024, Gasly was a better driver than Norris. Then last year he disappeared because the car is rubbish. You see what I'm saying?
I would say Norris has better quali pace than Gasly. But keen situation.
Yeah.
I think they are guaranteed to get top 6. Just looking at how it's going, they are going to trouble the top teams. And especially Gasly, he has been pushing that soft tires today a lot. He's doing quali laps, and they're very special quali laps. He's using the soft tire for 10 laps each. So today they ran about around 107 laps. It was split between Colapinto and Gasly. Gasly did around 50 laps, I believe. So 50 laps, Gasly was taking the soft tire, pushing it, cooling it down, pushing it, cooling it down. So I guess what Alpine's trying to do is find out the limit of this tire, which no other team has done other than Red Bull, funny enough. Only Red Bull and Alpine is
operating well, man. Alpine is operating well. Who's their doggone
they're
technical
well.
Their strategists. Those guys, like I said, I think they're under the fold of Mercedes, though. Like, this guy is such a strategist. Toto Wolff, we don't know how he manipulates things behind the scene, if you know what I'm saying. Because Alpine is, last year, we were clowning them last year as operational.
I mean, they deserved it.
Yeah, but so maybe, like I said, maybe they're working closely with Mercedes. Because Alpine is a moneymaker, and we know that Toto Wolff is actually the czar of F1, as far as I'm concerned. He's actually the czar. He's the person that's behind a lot of this. Let's go to the last thing for today.